We are live. Welcome to the Manic Money Finance channel. I'm Money Mike. I'm here to bring you the latest financial news, cryptocurrency tidbits, whatever have you. And, I find it difficult to come here and talk to you guys about the financial markets and not mention politics because basically this stuff has become adhered. It is one and the same. It is no different than the other. So that just it makes it extra hard to stay non-political or apolitical, I should say, and not mention politics and leave politics out of this. So Jerome Powell in his speech today at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, those reporters could not help but bring up Trump about 13 different times. And I'll tell you what, Trump is our president. That is a given. But he can, in the best interest of our nation and our fiscal health, it is literally ideal that he stays out of Fed business. Like, I am the first person, I will tell you, the Federal Reserve is a horrible institution. The way they do it, it's guacamole. It's garbage, dude. To have a third party private institution to manage our money supply, with which there is no oversight from our federal government, is both insane and at the same time genius, because they are not stuck following like any regime's fiscal policies, which is probably the best possible scenario. But at the same token, like, that could cause problems. If you get a president like Trump, who's very vocal, who's getting out in front of the press every day, and literally an hour after Jerome Powell spoke, he was on Truth Social, babbling his normal stuff in his echo chamber full of people that, let's face it, there's if you look at Truth Social, your average person, they're not your normal American. And I'll say it, like, I am someone who is fiscally conservative, societally liberal, and I'm everywhere in between when it comes to different policies, different issues, and I don't see that it's a benefit to have a president basically attacking the Fed. So, and I don't like the Fed. I think it is both a horrible and great institution at the same time. So, that being said, Bitcoin is killing it right now. We're going to go ahead. We're going to bring up that chart for you. We're going to go ahead. We're going to bring up that chart for you. Here's Bitcoin. I know, obviously, this is the past few hours, but let's bring it to the whole day. Bitcoin is killing it right now. So, many of you who follow the financial markets, the last time Jerome Powell spoke, the S&P 500 cratered. It went from 6,050 to 5,850 in literally a matter of 15 minutes. If something like that happened during the 1920s, it would have been, it was worse than the Great Depression in time, frequency, and ratio. Because it happened in 2025, no big deal. Didn't even make mainstream news. Didn't make mainstream news. Jerome Powell goes on a mic, and the S&P 500 drops to a 3-month low, and it doesn't even make the news. That is absolutely insane to me. But I digress. So we check out the Bitcoin chart here. This thing. So if you notice something very crucial about this time period here, where Bitcoin started, going sky high. You notice something about this? This is 2:30. This is right when Jerome Powell went on the mic. Bitcoin started charging up. Granted, right here when Powell got on the mic, Bitcoin was at 1015. Not even. 6 hours later, we're basically going to hit 105. Like, I started the stream a little bit late, so the 8:30 reversal has already played out, or maybe it's just not going to play out tonight. We'll see, because I've been waiting for a downside 8:30 p.m. reversal on the Asian markets since I started solo streaming, and I just haven't seen it. And I mean, this might be the night. I just don't think so. I think this thing's going to march up. If I had to buy right now, I would go long. Ooh. So I wonder if I can demo trade through this interface. Not that I'm really worried about it. So, there we go. And it's 8:30, and it looks like it actually is reversing down, which is against the current trend line. Would make absolutely no sense if you were watching this. It's not a double top. It did not reach the 104, 105 range. And oh my God, dude, this 8:30 p.m. reversal hypothesis is literally playing out every single day. It's wild to see. Like, you can watch this thing, man. It just reversed at 8:30 p.m. Happens every single day. It is the craziest thing. But let's compare this chart to the SPY. All right. So they literally decoupled today. So if you notice in the morning, this gap here is basically the gap between where it closed at 4 p.m. yesterday and where it opened at 9:30 a.m. this morning. So overnight trading, extended hours trading, really affects the S&P 500 now. And you see this giant green candle, it makes no difference. This thing still tanked out this morning. So last month when Jerome Powell spoke, the S&P took a nosedive. So basically, this is just skittish investors ditching their macro cap holdings to because of fear and FUD. And as you can see, we did not see the type of volatility that we saw last month. And this was the first press conference where Jerome Powell was dealing with a new president. And this is a president that got this dude confirmed. This president appointed this guy, and he ruled over the Fed through the entire Biden administration. It's something to take note of because Trump seems to hate this dude now, and it makes no sense. Trump literally talked about trying to force this guy out early. I don't get it. Like, it's not like the economy went up in flames, shambles, it got destroyed. There's nothing like that. Like, I understand that the high interest rates benefit your large cap stocks. They benefit your top 10, your Magnificent 7, which is unfair to small companies, your small caps and your mid caps. It's completely unfair. But still, like, this guy did not do a horrible job as the Fed president or as the leader of the Fed. So I think that Trump's off of this one. Like I said, I don't want to be political, but it's hard when you have these two titans going at it head to head. So Jerome Powell was actually really smart today in the press conference, and he really avoided Trump questions. So the press really wanted him to say something about Trump. They wanted him to go off the cuff, to start ad-libbing and say something degrading, something that would, like, basically signal to them that he does not like Trump, because Trump point blank said that he would be okay with forcing Jerome Powell out of his job early to appoint somebody that would be more favorable to him, because Trump was saying we need to lower interest rates. But Jerome Powell, I'm sorry, he made the right decision in this time around by saying basically we're going to hold interest rates the same. We want to see how this new presidency, this new administration's policies are going to actually play out financially before we make an interest rate decision. And that's genius. That's genius. And that's why you don't see insane volatility in the S&P 500 today. That's why it's still maintaining over 6,000. You see this up here, the S&P over 6,000. Bitcoin over 100,000. So, don't get me wrong. I was playing on volatility. My trades did not work out this week, and I'm okay with that. Or at least they have not worked out thus far. I'm going to give myself that leeway, and I'm okay with that. After DeepSeek got the DeepSeek news came out that the Chinese built a $5 million AI that is better than ChatGPT. I figured, you know what? This might be a signal that we're going to see a Chinese stock rout, right? And that's why I got into rhyme. That's why I got into rhyme here. Algorithm holdings. And this is just the 1-day chart. It is not good. When you look at the 5-day chart, oh, it is abysmal. I'll tell you what. Volume's down. Market cap is down. If that's even the true market cap, because let's face it, Chinese stocks somehow are able to fudge their outstanding shares numbers, whereas all American companies can't do that. But somehow Chinese companies listed on the American Stock Exchange can do that. So they're literally robbing American investors. But still, this did not work out for me. You can see this thing last Friday. It was doing real good. It looked promising. And I figured let's hold over the weekend, because on Monday, it's gonna pow. We're gonna go up here somewhere. No, we did not. We did not. This was an abysmal play. What can you do? We got Chi Group here. This is what I'm in now. It actually looks pretty decent. It has super low volume, but as far as a Chinese stock play goes, market cap in the 69 million. Nice. It's one of those things. I figured DeepSeek would trigger a Chinese stock revival. But let's face it, a lot of Americans have been burned by these Chinese stocks. So when they do pop, I will tell you point blank right away. When Chinese stocks do pop, especially if there's something that's hammered down, like Algorithm Holdings or Chi Group, it is 100% a manipulation play. And you know me, I love playing in the manipulation. But when it comes to these stocks, it is almost impossible to call the manipulation. So on the 3-month chart, it looks decent. Like this low here at 77 pales in comparison to this 72 down here. But when you see this sideways chop in the 80s to 90 range, and you see this wick here, you figure, this thing is going to eventually sky. It's going to freaking go nuts. And when you look at the 1-year chart, you go, man, what happened? This is a stock that does hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue. This makes no sense. And I would tell you, yes, no, it does not. And that is Chinese stocks for you. They make no sense. I have literally, so I have actually made quite a bit of money on a Chinese stock before. And this was it. And this is the 6-month chart. And this is where I made my money. Right after a reverse split. It was a beautiful thing. But if you bring this thing down to the 5-day chart, even the 1-month chart, it's abysmal. It is horrible. It is a sad, depressing situation. And like this pop I missed out on, but who really cares? And this is like the day in the life of a Chinese stock. Like these are how these things behave. They're fickle. And if you can, and you'll find yourself buying in and then averaging down and averaging down and averaging down. And then you'll get a month, 3 months, 6 months of this weird sideways trading where the price just slowly degrades. And then one day it'll just rocket up to $5 a share, seemingly randomly, with absolutely no explanation. But there's a reason, and it's because of manipulation. It's because of manipulation. I mean, it's an interesting situation. And like obviously, like I told you, this has not been a good week for me. I'm trading on Jerome Powell week. That might be it, but I highly doubt it. Like I said, this is a DeepSeek play, and I was basically betting on DeepSeek igniting a Chinese stock rally, and that did not happen, and that's okay. I'm cool with it, man. I'm cool with it. In fact, this whole thing has led me to adapt and to actually look at my top 10 for 2025. So anybody that is following this channel regularly knows that I have a top 10 for 2025 video. And as far as percentages go, this thing, this is more of a hands off. I'm going to toss money into these different derivatives. And there's one sexy dude right there, am I right? And just kind of let it do its thing. Obviously, I'm all about. You'll have to excuse me right now. Say it's been a long week. I'm on a new diet. I can't sleep and keep a lot of dry powder. Look like hammered dog poo poo in the old cantina. But that's okay. Just in case something does dip. So in this particular video, markets themselves will this year, but which you can probably hear. What I'm seeing is a divestment from the S&P 500 into smaller cap stocks like the ones I'm going to be talking about today. So obviously, I'm saying the S&P is probably not going to be good this year. We're going to see a lot more downside risk and potential. So without further ado, I'll probably just get into it. Unfortunately, I don't have, editors and a big production team, et cetera, et cetera. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through these things basically almost in order of importance. I kind of forgot BlackBerry and Kodak when I was going through here. I'm just going to cycle through a bunch of tabs and show you guys using Robinhood because I like their Zomedica basic is trading at 12 cents a share. Down of the important so we are down stocks. I'm just going to be sharing my screen here. We're going to go through this stuff. That bad boy. And hopefully these things not great. But there's no options. 14 million. Warrants, just like times and stuff, and Quantum Scape trustworthy. We'll see. You see the Robinhood trading trends. Some hedge funds have sold this year, but it seems like Quantum Scape more have bought than sold. Trading at 513. Not by a lot. But what's interesting to me is that seems trust. So this CEO Singh is trading at 513. Basically, also down a bunch of patents about 78%. Come up with a revolutionary battery technology. So this one has a big question mark. and executives are selling, exercising and then selling. This is an example of battery tech. So obviously that's not, again, no matter what government that's coming in. So on to the next. So
D-Wave
I'm going to try to
Quantum
go as quick as I can. I want us to only spend about 5 minutes per
trading
stock,
at 556,
so
also down 7 to 8% per share.
$5 a contract. So warrants you can only get. I can check. Ion. You know, they could
BlackBerry, on the other hand,
pretty decent. Obviously, BlackBerry's already been running a little bit. I made a bunch of money on
is
this
up.
at the end of December after earnings. But if you look at the 5-year chart here,
BlackBerry's up quite a bit. The next one I think is going to be Kodak
this year for pharmaceuticals,
which is also up
it could be a whole
quite a bit.
So I actually went through those different stocks. So one of my my number one biopic stock for that video was Alarity Therapeutics. And I'm going to go ahead and just bring this bad boy up for you guys. This bad boy is up nearly 40%. Let's see, where's January 12th? January 12th? Right around here. Right around $1 a share. Up 40%. So, like, I know that some of my picks, they're not playing out. They're not reaching maturation, which is normal. Obviously, I posted that video 14 days ago, 2 weeks ago. And if you had 10% of your portfolio into Alarity Therapeutics, you could literally just sell this holding right now. I mean, it hit $2 in intraday trading. So we already have one that doubled. Literally doubled from where I was shouting it out to the high that you could have sold at. And if 10% doubles, I'm sure you can figure that out. That is a 10% gain on your portfolio. You could sell that, recycle it into other holdings. But I would say this one, you want to keep holding this one. This is actually a really nice chart. So you get your an ascending Head and Shoulders, right? So a normal Head and Shoulders is bad. When you get the normal Head and Shoulders where it's basically like 3 isosceles triangles, right? That's no bueno. No bueno. So when you get the 3 isosceles triangles, roughly, that usually means it's going to dump. I don't know what kind of algorithmically studied pattern this is, but it's never going to do good. I call it the Bart Simpson, because it's similar to the little spikes on Bart Simpson's hair. But when you get an ascending Head and Shoulders, something like this, right? And it goes to 150. Consolidation to 128. And then you get this crazy spike, right? You know what this tells me? Some people would say this is a horrible thing. But this right here, this ascending Head and Shoulders, is actually a reassuring sign. This trend is upward. You're getting higher lows, higher highs, and this is basically a wedge pattern. So if you were to draw these lines, it's not the best wedge. This is obviously on the lower side of the volume weighted average price that we want to see. But such is the stock market, rife with manipulation. And this thing could easily head up into the $5 to $10 range this year. And so let's think about that for a second. So several of my picks, which I haven't covered, like Intel Corp, etc., are doing very well. But if you only were to take 10% of your portfolio and put it into something like this, and it goes from $1 a share to $5 to $10 a share. At $5 a share, even if all your other stocks remained even, you would be at a 50% profit on your entire portfolio with only 10% of your portfolio in one holding. If it hits a 200% gain, if it hits a 1,000% gain and goes to $10, you would literally double your portfolio. So you would literally only need one holding to go 10 times, and you would double your portfolio. So I know this seems like a lot for any new viewers, but basically, I've been trying some new things with trading and investing, and it has not been going incredibly well. And I'm kind of kicking myself in the butt because I put together an entire portfolio for 2025 and did a YouTube video on it. And if I had just invested in those things, I would have been better off than jumping into Chinese stock plays because of DeepSeek. That's all. But still, it's a good time. It's a good time. Like, I talk to people about investing a lot. I talk to my coworkers, my roommates, everything else. And what I found is that most people actually enjoy investing. So I know the research, going through SEC filings, scrolling through the message boards can be really taxing, stressful, feel like an actual job. And it makes sense because when you're trying to make money, you're going to have to put time into that. And it's not just going to, play out the way you think it's going to play out. Like I've had multiple 10, 20 times, 30 times, stock and crypto plays. So I know what it's like to throw 2 G's into something, sit on it for 6 months, and then 5 months into my investment, watch my money go absolutely insane. I have $2,000 in an account, and then 2 days later, it's 20 grand. It happens quick. And I mean, nothing's going to quite prepare you for that. It's a pattern recognition, being able to predict societal trends, which is going to be the biggest thing. And when I made that video back in mid-January, that was basically what I was doing. I was looking at societal trends. I was looking at, basically what happened the last time Trump was president, and the interest rates went into the bucket super low. And I think that's what we're going to be seeing again. And still, even with interest rates slowly, gradually decreasing, even if they didn't decrease today, we're going to see mid cap, small cap revival. And it's going to be a beautiful thing. So let me just check on Bitcoin here. Because you know me. Oh, it'd probably help if I actually type on the right keyboard. Oh, yeah. Sideways chop. I mean, it could be misconstrued as a reversal down, but that is definitely not the case. Bitcoin, it booped down a little bit at 8:30, which is, it is kind of like a reversal, but it has been trading sideways. This is a weird week, I've been calling Bitcoin. I've been calling the S&P. I've been calling a lot of stuff for the past 2 weeks, and I basically felt like an invincible god. And everything just kind of blew up in my face today, and it's refreshing. It feels good. It's like sometimes when you feel pain, it is a welcoming thing because it's like, oh, I'm alive. I'm alive. That's pain. And it's exactly what today was for me. Actually, the past couple few days of trading, I mean, I'm working every day. So I don't have a lot of time to check the markets during the actual, like when the actual markets are open, because I'm a first shift worker. I work when the sun's out. That's just how it goes. And yeah, it's been, honestly, this is kind of a refreshing week. I like it. And as long as I can convince myself that I like it, and I can convince myself that, like, emotionally none of this bothers me, I will be astronomically better off. Because when it comes to trading, a lot of times the mindset is the most important thing. Nobody's going to tell you that. My one viewer on Twitch, you are the bomb. Thank you for being here. I see you. And yeah, if you want to check out some stuff, man, we have some videos. I have some videos, especially the top 10 for 2025 portfolio. Unfortunately, it's been a weird night. You know, I had a 13-hour day today, and I had to come back here to the house, try to eat some food, get the dogs out there for a run and some exercise. And of course, I was late to jumping on stream. You know, we got food cooking down in the kitchen right now. So it's a little disjointed. It's not my normal pattern, you know. I know I was going to try to get you guys the small account challenge, right? The small account challenge. Ooh. So, I'm logging into my Charles Schwab. So, my small account challenge is in my Charles Schwab account. So, I gotta try to log into my Charles Schwab account on here so I can show you guys my small account challenge. Because I'm basically putting $15 a week into a brokerage account. And ugh, ugh. But I don't even know how to I'm not even sure how to I'm not even sure how to log into this bad boy. But we're gonna give it a go right now. I'm gonna give it a go right now. We're gonna try to jump in to I'm gonna try to jump into my Charles Schwab account. All right. Oh, we're in. We're in. We are in, people. So this is a small account challenge. I have I have basically. Let me just make sure there's nothing on here that is going to give away. So, this is a small account challenge. So, I'm basically putting $15 a week into this brokerage account, and I am investing it as I see fit in order to basically build wealth. I'm going to show you how you can use $15 a week if you strategically invest it to build a portfolio that is worth millions. And it doesn't take as long as people think it does. Because you think about anything when it comes to time, compounding interest. If you're putting $15 a week into something, think after 52 weeks a year, that is $750. Even if you were to invest that in the S&P 500 with average yearly gains of 20 to 25%, after 10 years, you are going to have tens of thousands of dollars, especially with the dividends. And if you were to reinvest your dividends. So it's a pretty incredible concept. And that's not only that. Like, as you can see, I have warrants here. This is Bitcoin Depot warrants. This is, this is a little gift for you. They expire on June 30th, 2028. They're good for another 3.5 years. You're welcome. You are freaking welcome. You can only get these bad boys on traditional brokerage accounts. You're not going to find them anywhere else. And that's okay. That is okay. Because this is a big boy brokerage account right here. Charles Schwab. You have the Thinkorswim. But as you can see, we are slightly down at 28.73. Which is fine. Starting with $30, and I can't even invest half of this yet because when you're using a big boy brokerage account, your funds do not clear for 3 to 4 business days. And therefore, you can only invest in large cap NASDAQ and New York Stock Exchange stocks. So basically, what's going to happen with this stock is the first few months are going to be small incremental changes week by week. And after 3 months, right, 12 weeks, we're going to have close to $300 in that account. It's going to be more like $220. But you got to think, 3 months, I'm going to, hit some winners. So after a few months, we're going to only have a few $100 in this account. But if we're smart and we cycle through and into different assets strategically, still, it could be something more insane than that. And that's actually what I'm hoping for. So basically what I've been doing is I've been actually putting calls out there. I've been putting stocks out there, and I've been putting that on my name and showing you exactly my calls and telling you, not financial advice, but telling you exactly what I would do with it. And then I'm going to go in and I'm going to check in periodically. I'm going to show you the portfolio gain for the top 10 of 2025. I'm going to show you the small account. Week in, week out. And the proof's going to be in the pudding. It's going to be chocolate pudding too. But yeah, I mean, I don't have much for you. This week's been rough. Jerome Powell just killed me today. I was betting on volatility, and the markets they stayed flat. I don't feel like streaming on any of my other accounts tonight. I'm just doing this one because I missed out on you guys yesterday because I was too busy, streaming on the other account. So what can you do? There's a pretty good chance that I might miss tomorrow's live stream. If I jump on, it's going to be as unhinged, if not more unhinged than tonight. So I might just stay away. And I would just jump on with a Friday show that's going to have a lot more meaty, juicy content for you guys. But yeah, stay frosty, my friends. I got no picks for you. If you bought my last pick, you'd be down 30% like me. So I got no picks.